Hi there. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. It's Monday, the 4th of March, 2024, and it's definitely 10 a.m. Ish. How you doing? How you doing, babe?
I'm doing fantastic, Graham. How are you doing?
I am good. I am talking fast because we, in true ice creamy fashion, all of the ice creamy fashion, haven't scooped for about 2 weeks-ish, almost, something like that. We've been busy. Sorry. But it's also 10 to 5 in the afternoon, evening sort of time. So we usually aim to stream at 10 a.m.-ish. So everything is ish. It's been 2 weeks-ish since we streamed, and it's now almost 5 p.m.-ish. So we're just going to roll straight into doing some scoopy stuff. So if you don't know who we are, my name is Graham. This is Bib. Right here. There. Nice. We are Ice Cream Uploads in true ice cream fashion. This is The Scoop, the UK's occasional video game podcast.
Whenever we turn up.
Nice. So we are here to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. And we'll do that shortly. But we also want to hear your thoughts and impressions, as well as our thoughts and impressions. So if you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved. And it's important that you do get involved. Because, yes, we might be live on Twitch, but the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Amazon Music and Spotify and places, Google Play as well.
Yes.
Yes, nice.
All of your favorite podcast services.
Yes. I don't know if I said Google Play then. If I did,
you did.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. We're good. Let's go. But yes, there is over 250,000 people that have watched and listened to this on demand. So please do feel free to get involved. And if you are watching on Twitch, feel free to throw down your sub. Wait, no, actually, you might as well not bother. Mate, because that's all irrelevant now. Don't bother subbing to the channel because we've got over 100 subscribers on the channel, which should help us when it comes to the revenue split. But not only is 100 subs, those names have already been exported. Today is the first Monday of the month. In the last hour, Bibby has exported the list of subscribers on the channel, and we will be doing a Wheel of Names draw in the Discord for a prize that is still TBC. But yeah, basically someone's going to get a prize just for being a sub to the channel, which is nice. That's just a little bit of a way that we say thanks to you guys for supporting us, guys. We appreciate that. It's good weekend.
Nice. Yes, it was a very busy one, as it is every single weekend, but not as busy as 12s, because I hear as well on Saturday that you streamed with him for 5 hours, which must have been a fucking chore.
Oh my god, pain, but it was for a good cause. So
it was.
I'm not going to play it because, YouTube strikes. I was just about to play it then, but we did get a 12-Imon theme tune made out of it. If you missed it, the stream was around on Saturday. You can go back and watch it there. If not, we'll probably play it when we stream again on Wednesday night or something like that. So you can join us for that. But yeah, but yes, 12 streamed for a bajillion hours, raised a bajillion quid for one charity, and we had some fun. We got some good clips as well. We were doing pans fist runs, which evolved into pans and throwing weapons, and then eventually we went up to pistols as well because people were just super sweaty. But we got some good kills. Obviously, naturally, you're probably not going to win pacifist games ever, let alone when you've only got 5 hours to do it on a charity stream. But we got close. We had some top 5 finishers, or finish at least one anyway, and we got some kills with mollies and stuff. So it was nice. It was great. It was good. What about you?
You do the warm up game and win.
We started early doors and we got a win in the bag, and then after that point we just thought, fuck it, we'll go for the we've got the sweat out the system. We'll go for the for the content. Speaking of content, I'm going to say a word that some people do find offensive, some people don't, depending, but apparently you make nonce content on Twitch, Pip. When I say that, I don't mean that he makes nonce content. I mean, he is a nonce, apparently, air quotes, for making a specific type of content. What is that? Do you want to give us more information, Bib, before it sounds like you're going to get cancelled for something that you've not done?
Yeah, because I played Fortnite. It's the first time it's happened this season. A team that we're playing against found out that I play games on Twitch. So I got called a nonce for playing Fortnite, but I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? I'm more than happy for the bants to start rolling. It is what it is. As you can tell, I'm being very diplomatic with the statement, the way that I'm talking about it now, because I'm such a polite person. But yeah, for the first time, yeah, people found out that I play video games on Twitch, and I got called a nonce for playing Fortnite. As
you do, standard. Yeah, because that's the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, naturally. So yes, and as well as that, the not only did they say that to you, but then also wanted you to sign for them, which
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Being called on to playing Fortnite, but can you come and play for us because we think you're half decent at football. I mean, to be honest, the message is the invites that I've been getting to go and sign for the team, they could have been taking the piss, but when you're as good as football as me, I doubt it.
I mean, you are sponsored by the mighty ICU
Yes.
in your current team, and you're almost on one goal contribution per game. So, I mean, clearly it wasn't taking the piss.
33-year-old Graham, I'm happy that I'm getting more than 5 minutes at this moment in time. Never mind playing 75 every single week. It's been difficult, but yeah.
Well, do you know what? You're half the man you used to be.
Metaphorically and physically.
Good touche. Doom says fair point. Hey yo, Smithy, welcome in. If you are in the stream, please do feel free to sit yourself down, make yourself comfortable. We're going to fly through, hopefully, at least 2 stories. We'll hit the first story, and then if worst case scenario, we'll hit you with your free game Friday on a Monday, because this is just what we do. But, Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
Little thing called GTA 6, have you heard of it?
No. Guitar?
Yeah, yes, that's
No.
that's a place in the Middle East. Nice.
Right, okay, yeah.
Now, this is written by Tom Ivan at VGC. It says, Grand Theft Auto 6 devs hit out at Rockstar's reckless return to office mandate. I haven't seen anything on this. That's literally the first time I've read the title out, so this is going to be an interesting one. But employees are worried the move may be paving the way for a return to toxic crunch practices. Interesting. So this is quite an interesting thing, because context, for those that don't know, if you haven't been around the scoop for the last 18 months, the video games industry is in a bad way. There is a lot of people losing jobs left, right, and centre. This month alone, bearing in mind we are 4 days into it, there has been over 1,000 job losses in the industry already. This year, there's already been more jobs lost in the 3 months that we're in, well, 4 into the 4th month now, than there was in the entirety of last year. GTA 6 was one of those pinnacle moments that's in the calendar. If you read any articles, there was a good one actually in Eurogamer from Chris String from GI.biz, gamesindustry.biz, and he was talking about how there's a couple of tentpole moments, the Switch 2 potentially launching, GTA 6 potentially launching, that could be bringing the fate of the industry back, get more investment in, give people more jobs and so on. So you're like, nice. Mm-hmm. And then we get this. So I'll jump into the article. It says, a number of Rockstar Games developers have criticised the company for telling employees they must return to the office full-time in April. Earlier this week, Rockstar informed staff of plans to end its hybrid working policy for productivity and security reasons. The move follows a number of high-profile GTA 6 leaks, and Rockstar head of publishing Jen Colby said the company found there are tangible benefits from in-person work. Bloomberg reported. The decision has been heavily criticised by the Independent Workers' Unions of Great Britain, IWGB, and a number of its members who are Rockstar employees. They say the plan to withdraw remote working provisions for the majority of staff on April the 15th represents the latest in a series of broken promises, and that it could lead to the return of unhealthy working practices at the company. Last year, unionised Rockstar workers submitted a petition with 175 signatures calling for continued remote work options in response to a mandatory transition to a 3-day office week. At the time, Rockstar reportedly stated in an employee-wide email, "This isn't our first step to 5 days a week. No one wants to go back to the old way of working." An anonymous employee said, "Working from home has been a lifeline for many of us at Rockstar, allowing us to balance care responsibilities, manage disabilities, and relocate as we need. Now Rockstar is snatching away that lifeline without a second thought for the workers who will be impacted most." Okay, we can stop there. I think we get the idea. I'll have a quick glance at the article as we start talking now. But this is something that most of the world, I suppose, can relate to in some way or other because of what happened a couple of years ago. Obviously, you rewind 2 or 3 years, we were mid-pandemic and a lot of people suddenly started working remotely. Some more than they'd ever have done before, and some for the first time ever. And a lot of people have gone back to where they were pre-pandemic, and some people still have changes to their working situations as a result of that. So this is something that most people, either directly or through other people around us, can in some way, shape or form relate to. But Rockstar now, for reasons including tangible benefits like security and in-person just improvements in form, are going to go full-time back to in-office work. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What are your thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
I mean, the good thing or a bad thing is definitely it's definitely circumstantial, depending on the person. That might be hit the hardest with this. Like, as it mentioned in there would have been people who would have relocated from away from the office because they could work remotely. I understand that this game is not necessarily the worst kept secret, obviously, because it has been announced that it is in development and it will be arriving at some point. But the fact that most of the game, I say most of the game, the texture of the game, some of the clips have been rendered out and people have basically hacked their servers to get a hold of what the game is going to look like. We obviously got a look at the protagonist way in advance before it was even announced, before we even saw the trailer for it. Which obviously isn't good from their side. It just means that their security protocols probably aren't up to standard if people have been able to get in and get there. It's definitely down to the person that is going to influence the most, but I understand to a small degree where Rockstar are coming from, not from the crunch standpoint, but from the fact is they need people there to ensure that the code isn't leaked elsewhere, everything's kept under one roof. But there's got to be a better way of being able to go about it. Like, if these people have relocated, it would have been on the basis of, yeah, we're not going to be coming back to the office anytime soon. Or if we are, it might be, you might have to come back once every fortnight or once a month or something like that. When they've been speaking to their line manager, and this just so happens now that all of that's just gone by the wayside. And they go, actually, no, we want you back in 5 days a week, which obviously isn't on when they've already had those conversations. But I imagine the people who are making the decisions aren't your line manager. It would be someone it would be the line manager's boss's boss's boss that would have been eventually drip fed down to them, then down to obviously the worker itself. So it's a very difficult situation, because it's always going to come down to is people are just going to go, do you know what, I'll find a job elsewhere. Like, if they're working on Rockstar games, I imagine every single developer, every single development company in the video game hemisphere will be going, do you know what, bring them in. We will bring them onto the team because they have a AAA standard of skills that we definitely can utilize. So who fills their position then? Who's going to come into those? I imagine there will be other AAA developers waiting in line to come and take that person's job, as is the conveyor belt of the video game landscape as it is, with the, 15,000 jobs have been lost in like the last 4 or 5 months in the video games industry. So there is people fighting tooth and nail to try and get involved in video games, and working for Rockstar is happy to say the creme de la creme of video game companies.
Yeah, it's difficult as well, because like, there's that many redundancies, which means there's that many quality people that are looking for jobs. I was reading, so that Chris String article that I was mentioning said basically things are cyclical. We've had redundancies in the industry before, which tends to lead to a drop of workers. People have to leave the industry, and then we hit hype phase again. People start to spend more on employees once new games and new titles and new avenues and new verticals open up. The industry then starts to go into a bit more of a boom, and people start getting jobs again. But at the moment right now, there's a lot of people that are floating looking for jobs, which means not only is it harder to get a job, but when you do get a job, you're probably going to get less for it, because there's more people that are willing to take a little bit less just to keep in the industry, rather than having to branch out into tertiary or even further industries. So you might be working for a second party, i.e. a third party developer, but making games for and directly with first parties, to going to, actually, you know what, I'm now going to step into something slightly different, into indie content and so on. And then you might go, okay, I'm not going to do any form of this stuff. I'm going to move into web and digital and so on. And then eventually the skills that you've owned in this position that you can't get into now have been morphed into something completely different. 3-5 years later, you come back in, the industry's moved on. You don't have a way to get back into that. Anyway, I'm going down a big old tangent here, but that all comes full circle when those people that are now in jobs don't have the level of complacency that they could have done, because if they go to you, okay, you have to come into the office now. That is the rule. So you can't really go, well, no, thank you. You respect me and know that I deliver some good shit. If I say no, you go, okay, well, shake your hands. This is it. Nice to see you. See you. Nice. Goodbye. There's 5 people stood outside there that will take your job then. And that's where it's kind of bad, because the industry then starts to compete against itself in these sort of situations. But that doesn't necessarily say that this is a bad thing. I'm not necessarily saying that it is a bad thing or a good thing, because it's one of those things that it's such a nuanced conversation depending on which way you are looking at this. If you are looking purely at this from a business perspective, if GTA sees that a return to office mandate is the best thing for their business, then that's something that has to be considered. And this is, I'm speaking as someone that works, Tito was talking about, he's got a 3-2 split. I'd struggle going back to full office working. I love a 3-2 split. So I'm 3-2 split in terms of 3 days from home, 2 days in office. And changing that around, I mean, would have significant implications on life, as it would do for anyone in any way, shape, or form. But I'm still aware that there is needs for that to be something that something is mandated. That for something that a company would mandate. So GTA 6, the biggest potential profitable, most valuable IP in video game in all the world, had the biggest security leak that any video game has ever had before. And is that because of this? So is this them going, okay, we want people in the office? Because we know it definitely does have advantages. You can't say it doesn't, by the way. There is advantages from working from home, 100%. We'll go through those separately. But there is advantages from being in the office. If you work in a system where you need any form of collaboration, that can be built out remotely. But it's much easier to build it out physically, face-to-face, getting up and saying, no, you've got to press that, no, this, that, and the other. Doing that through Slack or through Discord or through a Teams call or through a Zoom meeting or whatever sort of stuff doesn't necessarily have the same impact. There's all sorts of difficulties that come with remote learning and teaching and keeping attention and sharing perspectives and so on. So having that in something that is such a majorly complex, creative, subjective environment like video game development, I understand that there will be needs for them to share that. But the security one is one that I am kind of dubious about, though. Like, surely Rockstar has enough money to employ IT security professionals that will be able to create a system that negates any security risks. The fact that GTA had the biggest security risk, how do we know that that is a result of their remote learning and remote working? It could just be that happened anyway, but is also something that makes it easier for them to stop remote working, even though it's not actually affiliated with that. The leaks could have come from their central servers anyway. Someone's broke into that without anything to do with remote access. But then they've just gone, actually, do you know what? We can use this as a... Yeah, people shouldn't be able to work remotely either. So... How long is a piece of string? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Is the question that I asked Bib. There is no answer to that question. The only person that can answer that question for you is you in that situation. Some people absolutely love the idea of working in an office environment and need that human touch. Some people, not so much. Danielle works at home 100% of the time. Well, 99% of the time. She goes in sporadically, kind of thing. She's not always at home, but she could go in every day. But that works better for us in our circumstances and so on. So I would never say a return to office mandate should be something, yep, that's the right thing. It's the right thing. Because it's difficult. It might be the right thing for the business. It might not be the right thing for the people that are going to have to spend more money on commuting, are going to have to spend more time on commuting, are going to lose that time spent with elderly relatives, with children, with spouses, with just the ability to fucking do stuff in their own home rather than being sat in a traffic jam for a bajillion hours and so on. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I have sympathy for the workers at Rockstar. I also have sympathy for the developers as well, because when the entire industry is cutting thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs and a business is making changes to give tangible benefits for the business, but not cutting jobs. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I say it's purely down to circumstance. There were people who might enjoy going into the office 5 days a week, but like I say, especially for those people who've been given the green light to move away, what are they supposed to do now?
Yes, mate. Exactly. I mean, the thing is as well, though, is like, how far does that spread? Because there'll be people that work internationally that don't even work in that country or in that state or wherever it is that now have access to that job. Do you have to get some form of visa sponsorship to move in? Do you have to get some form of house move on the go and so on?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just you having digs that you can just stay at 2 or 3 times a week or something.
Yeah, it's painful, but any form of major change like that, it's one of those for you can't do right for doing wrong. In essence, I know that's probably oversimplifying it in terms of, okay, we'll get rid of people. Okay, you're laying people off. That's not good. Okay, we'll keep people, but we'll ask them to come in. Okay, you're making people move. That's not good. Okay, we'll keep people, but we'll only have some of them come in, and the other ones go, okay, so some people are getting treated better than others. That's not right. And it's just like, okay, well then we won't make anyone come in, but then we'll have to reduce this, that, and the other and spend more on security, which means we've got less wage or no wage rises. Oh, so you're not even keeping up with inflation wage rises. That's not good. And it's just like one of those kind of, there's multiple ways this cookie could crumble. So, yeah, difficult one. I couldn't go back to the office at all. Feck that. So do you not go in at all, Spiff? Jammy? God damn. Depends on the job. For my team, it's good for collaboration and learning. I've got a guy on my team at uni with limited practical application. I get to show him shortcuts and techniques he doesn't know. Exactly. Bibby is right for our council. The decision has been made by the big bosses, 3 of which don't even live in the county and were hired during COVID and work remotely. So I bet they don't have to go in though, do they? But I do think people should have the choice. Office working isn't all that. Some neurodivergent people struggle in noisy offices. Even neurotypical, like to listen to music just to focus and not hear distracting chatter. I often put on, if I'm in the office, I'll put my headset on and put a stream on just to put noise in my ears to avoid from the distraction, 100%. Ideally not wobbles, because that's, yeah, no, but I'd rather have the noise at the office. You know, if you listen to the twitch.tv/the wobbly gamer, it's not the distraction you need. No. I work better remotely, personally. They probably do have ways to stop it, and stop calling them Shirley. Sorry, watched Airplane last night. Yikes. One of my team was taking steps to move to Thailand. I never asked why, and I don't want to know. He took a job in my team, and it got blocked as post-COVID the stance changed. Feel bad for him, but he got a sizable pay rise out of it. Company protecting its assets. What do people expect? That's the thing, though. That's the thing. It's you can't just oversimplify it like that. Like I wouldn't ever begrudge Rockstar for trying to ensure security and increase productivity, but I would never begrudge the people that are doing the same thing on a personal level for themselves. Who's right, who's wrong? You can't say one's right, one's wrong, because it's subjective. It entirely is. So I had a headline that saying people worried it may be paving a way to toxic crunch practices. I do feel like that's a bit of a leap myself. Oh, that's it. They've asked people to come back in, so they're going to work them to death. Not necessarily. I mean, that's taking it up and picking it up and running with it. Yes, they have previous doing that. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's where this goes from here, though. So I feel that is a bit of a leap. I'm office-based, but have flexibility to work from home when it's needed. Every company is different in its approach. Yeah. So how do you feel? Like, you're office-based, but you've got the flexibility to work from home when needed. Would you be bothered if they took that away from you entirely? Or is it just what it is? Is it what it is? Because the other thing as well is, like, some people will have had contracts that existed pre any form of flexibility required through lockdown and so on. Like, does that matter? Should they then have to, like, go back to being in the office? The ones that were hired in that period have got, oh, well, you know, this is how it's always been for you and so on. But obviously their contracts probably have wording in it that says that sort of stuff anyway. So, yeah. Being council, they're trying to reduce their estate. They sold off a lot of their satellite offices due to budget issues. I don't think they could go back full office working if they wanted to right now. Same thing with a lot of them. when everything starts going up in price and your city centre rates cost more and your gas and your electricity cost more and you've got to put tea bags and stuff in the kitchens for people that are there and you've got to pay for those and the sugar and the coffees and okay, well, let's just get rid of all of that shit and let people pay for that at home, which we should be having questions like, okay, are you going to pay towards my energy bills because I'm funding your business here now? So, but that's a whole different thing. I have a fully remote contract. You're not even allowed to go anywhere near your contract. Wow. God damn. I'm being told to be in the office tomorrow. I'm not impressed, but as it will move my work forward, I am conceding. I've made it very clear this is a one-off. And that's the thing in itself. Once again, subjective. If someone said to me, you've got to be in the office tomorrow, I mean, I'm going to be in the office tomorrow anyway, but if someone said to me, I'm going to be in the office the day after, okay, fine. I'm not supposed to be, but I will be. But I have a contract that was based on me being in the office and so on. So, yeah, it's once again subjective. Mine is mainly used for childcare reasons. I am doing tomorrow's school run and working the time back at home rather than not being allowed to do the school run. I having to go back. But that's the thing, though. I imagine most other people that have been forced back into this all have their own personal circumstances that matter to them just as much as that. So if one of them is the school run and one of them is going to the gym for your own physical and mental health, is the school run more important than going to the gym? Because the gym is physical and mental health kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, well, if I go to the gym now, then I can eat at a more reasonable time. I don't have to cook stupidly late when I get home after going to the gym after the hour, and it just makes everything nicer for me in life. And it's one of those things like where you weigh your importances in life is subjective versus what other people weigh. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that. We asked that, but they said we'd be saving money due to not travelling or work clothes, etc. Really? But can you jump on a call with your pajamas on? Because if not, then say stick your work clothes up your ass, then mate. Spending at home is overrated. Spending at home? I spend all my shit at home. Spending time at home though. Anyway, we're going to put a pin in that. We did have a few other stories about Epic being hacked, EA's new Star Wars game, and Steam concurrent records, but we started late. We didn't have much time, so this is going to be a short old scoop. So we're going to jump forward a couple of stories. I say a couple, right to the end, because it's Free Game Friday. But, you know, on a Monday. Nice. There we go. So this is what's free on the Epic Games Store right now by Morgan Park and Lincoln Carpenter at PC Gamer. And there we go. So what's free until March the 7th? So you've got 3 days left to get Aerial Knights Never Yield. So this week in Epic Freebies, a stylish acrobatic runner and passion project, Aerial Knights Never Yield has protagonist Wally outrunning a future Detroit's corporate security forces and features an endless mode, bonus levels, and an original soundtrack from Detroit Music Heists. Next week even, Astro Duel 2. There you go. Does Aerial Knights Never Yield tickle your pickle?
Aerial Knights never installing, mate, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's free.
Doesn't look like... Yeah, I mean, get it on your account, because there might be a time where you think, do you know what? That game that I saw 6 years ago, I actually fancy a bit of that. Not anytime soon for me, and I play a lot of duff games. It's not for me.
But it's free. It's free. There you go. That's Free Game Friday on a Monday, and it's not the greatest Free Game Friday we've had. We'll all be honest, but, you know, it's free. Don't pay anything. Don't pay anything. So there you go. Astro Duel 2 doesn't give any information on that, so we'll bring you that on Friday-ish, if we go live-ish. But for now, that has been it for us. It's been a short show, we know, but we had a pre-show. We had a little bit of a podcast chat, and then we will catch up with everything else the next time we scoop, which is gonna be, I don't know, fuck knows, nobody knows.
But we'll see what I can try and do tomorrow. Because I need to sort the studio out.
Nice. I have a meeting-ish early doors, which might not be cancelled. It might not be going on. Might be cancelled. So we might have a bit of space.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Nice, but, you know, before that meeting, is there what else you'd like to add, Mr. Bibb?
Yes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this very, 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 very late episode of The Scoop. We brought you one. We may bring you more this week, so if you want to help shape any of the shows that we will be bringing you, there's 2 ways you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. All the links that you require will be listed in the description below. But all we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what time at some point, Mr. Graham Day.
10 a.m.
Just hiccup then, sorry.
Nice. I thought you were just like Rolf Harris.
You tell what it is yet?
No, because he's been cancelled. We don't look at his things anymore. Get out of here, Rolf. God damn. Speaking of getting out of here, that's what we're going to do now. Mr. Hancock. Thank you for the follow. How you doing, mate? You've tuned in just in time to join the raid. Nice. So we are going to raid one of our friends. We're not sure who. We'll figure that out when we throw out the end slate. For now, though, we are going to disappear. We'll hopefully be back tomorrow with another episode of The Scoop. And then hopefully Wednesday, followed by some PUBG fun times and more scoops and some more games towards the weekend. But it's so far away for now. Make sure you follow like Mr. Hancock just did. You will get notified when we go live. And until next time, stay frosty.